They say that normal people are just people that you don't know very well. In many respects, that's true. Everybody has their quirks, like eating banana peels or liking My Little Pony Friendship is Magic a little too much. There are some people who have bigger problems, like mental disabilities or physical deformities. This is where Freaks comes in. Freaks is a 1932 horror movie directed by Todd Browning, a film about foul play happening behind the scenes of a circus. This film is notable for the fact that the circus freaks are actually being played by circus freaks. But how does the film hold up today, and how does it reflect on freak culture? Let's find out. This is Freaks. The movie begins with a 2-minute text scroll. It tells us absolutely nothing we don't already know, so let's just skip to the title card. Wait, what does suggested by mean? Is it based on the book or not? Well, anyway, we go to the circus, where the crowd of people is led to the freak show. One of the freaks has a particularly interesting backstory, so the ringmaster tells it to the crowd of people. Turns out that the freak was once Cleopatra the trapeze artist. She was normal! Then we cut to our two main characters, Hans and Frida, Okay, apparently this is a curse word now, and little person to me always sounded patronizing, so let's go with dwarfs. Hans and Frida are two dwarfs that are engaged, so naturally, Frida is a little uncomfortable when Hans starts oogling Cleopatra.
Oh, Frida, my dear, I have eyes for only one woman. The woman I asked to be my wife.
Yep, and that's why he keeps hitting on Cleopatra the very next scene. What a wonderful fiancé! So in the next scene, we cut to two normal people! They're upset when the freaks trespass on their property. To be fair, their appearances are a little off-putting. So they talk to their caretaker and she apologizes. Then these two disappear and this issue is never brought up again. Well, that scene was really pointless. After that, we're introduced to the rest of the circus performers. It isn't just a freak show. There are clowns, acrobats, strongmen, the whole shebang. There's also this one guy who stutters. I'm not exactly sure what his act is, but he exists. One thing I like is that the rest of the performers just sort of treat the freaks as part of the community. The worst it really gets is that they sometimes make jokes to their expense, which the freaks do to each other anyway. This is much better than that the freaks were the put-upon, misunderstood saints who have to deal with living in a world where everybody hates them. They're just sort of part of the family. It's a lot more inspiring than when Serious Unfortunate Events did it. But then again, I find getting hit in the head with a 2x4 more inspiring than Series of Unfortunate Events. There was no point to that tangent. It just feels awesome to say how much I despise those books. Anyway, back to Cleopatra. As it turns out, she's a total slut who will hit on anybody. She seems particularly interested in Hercules, the strongman. He's normal! The next scene shows Cleopatra knitting and watching Frida hang up the laundry.
I said, how's Hans?
Oh, Hans is fine. Thank you, he's fine.
Frida, something's wrong. What is it?
Why is she asking Frida what's bothering her? She knows the answer. Wait, that's not Cleopatra? Oh. I had the same issue when I was watching Reefer Madness. All white women from the 30s look exactly the same. Whatever, this is Venus, probably my favorite character. I'm not exactly sure what kind of act she does, but she seems nice and has a sort of romance with the clown. Back to Hans, who, surprise, is hitting on Cleopatra again. Seriously, dude? You're engaged. Dwarf or not, you don't do that. Next, we have more interactions between Venus and the clown. I know he has a name, but we all just think of him as the clown. His bit is that he's not funny in the slightest. Oh gee, I wonder what the joke is. That suit looks exactly like a normal suit. Oh wow, my sides.
Don't think it's funny. It's sad.
Well, apparently Dana Carvey thought that it was hilarious. Then we get a scene of the bearded lady giving birth to a little girl.
Mr. Ringmaster, what does this have to do with anything?
Shut up! This is totally essential to the story! Then suddenly, the movie turns into a sitcom talking about the love story between the stuttering guy and the conjoined twins.
Oh, no, she don't. She's gonna stay right here.
Come on, I gotta go.
Ah, boy, you're always using that for an alibi.
Who is this, a precursor to Porky Pig? Next is a scene where a woman with no arms and a dwarf talk about Cleopatra leading on Hans.
Cleopatra ain't one of us. Why, we're just filthy things to her. She'd spit on Hans if he wasn't giving her presents.
Let her try it. Let her try doing anything to one of us.
You're right. She don't know us. But
Wow,
she'll find
exposition
out.
and clunky foreshadowing? It must be my birthday! Next we get a scene where the ringmaster is talking with a man who doesn't have arms or legs.
We know how to sell the stuff. Same way in the last town. Never heard such applause in your life. Let me tell you something that everybody around here don't know. We're only killing time with this circus. We've got bigger time to follow, and we can do it too. Well, applause in your life.
Okay, that is 31 different flavors of awesome. With only his mouth and a table, he can do what takes most people 2 free hands. Give that guy a medal. So, is something gonna happen? We're like halfway through the movie and the plot is yet to make an appearance.
You're just a man.
Thankfully, the story does actually start, with Hans taking his relationship with Cleopatra to the next level by doing things like buying her gifts. So, did the movie just forget about the fact that he was already engaged to Frida? They don't really seem to bring it up again. They focus more on the fact that Cleopatra isn't trustworthy. I mean, she isn't, but seriously, this makes Hans a pretty bad person. In fact, the real irony is that he didn't have to be engaged. The writers could have just made Frida a family member or a close friend, and it wouldn't have changed the story much at all. What they went with just makes Hans look like a jerk for no real reason. Cut to more awkward small talk between Venus and the clown.
Can't do it now.
Oh no! Well, it certainly fooled
We'll make it
me.
some other time, huh?
Next, we cut to Cleopatra and Hercules, who reveal their evil plan. As it turns out, Hans is totally loaded. Why? Where did his family get so much money? And he's so rich, why does he have to be a circus freak for a living? Well, anyway, Cleopatra, who really loves Hercules, plans to marry Hans just for his money. Whoa, man. The 2 normal people are the villains and the freaks are the heroes. It's almost as if the normal people are the real monsters. Get it? Get it? But to the movie's credit, I like how Hans has a relatively normal problem. There doesn't have to be freaks for there to be a gold digger subplot. They get engaged off screen and then we start the infamous feast scene. So, all of the circus performers get together to celebrate Hans and Cleopatra's matrimony, and everyone except for Frida seems to be having a good time. But as it turns out, Cleopatra wants more than just wine on the menu. Are you serious, lady? Breaking his heart isn't enough, so you have to kill him too? What is wrong with you? So Cleopatra gets drunk and her haminess reaches critical mass.
Never before did I think I should be so lucky.
Okay, seriously. How is it possible that she is the worst actress in this movie? Some of the actors have physical facial deformities and they can still emote better than her. In her drunken state, Cleopatra starts making out with Hercules. You know, I'm starting to think that her intentions might not be entirely pure. Then this happens.
We accept a one of us. We accept a one of us.
Gooba gobble, gooba gobble.
We accept her, we accept her.
Google gobble, Google gobble.
One of us. One of us.
Google gobble.
You know, if I wanted to convince somebody that I was normal, bizarre, nonsensical chant would not be my first idea, but hey, different strokes, different folks. Cleopatra is angered by this for some reason and throws a Tommy Wiseau tantrum. Wow, she's inattentive, uninteresting, and insulted all of Hans's friends? She's a keeper. I have no idea why Hans stays with her. Is it because she's pretty and normal? Well, that makes Hans very shallow as well as a terrible person. After a contrived apology and an equally contrived forgiveness, the poison starts to take effect, slowly killing Hans. Venus, who seems to be the only person in this movie with any brain activity, puts two and two together and figures out that Hercules and Cleopatra are trying to kill Hans. So she goes to Hercules and tells him off.
You're crazy.
Yeah? Well, you can't get away with it. I'll tell the coppers.
So, tell on your own people.
My people are decent circus folks. Not dirty rats, but would kill a freak to get his money.
Dirty little...
Wah, wah. But it turns out that Hans is less of an idiot than I thought, because he catches on as well and starts plotting his revenge, which leads to the notorious climax of this movie. And I have to say, it was really well done. The lightning, the rain, the lighting, and the cinematography all work together to make this scene wonderfully atmospheric and creepy. So, the freaks attack both Hercules and Cleopatra.
How she got that way will never be known.
Wait a minute, what do you mean nobody knows why she's like this? You just spent an hour telling us why she's like this. Okay, they have been building this up for the entire movie. What did they do to her?
Believe it or not, there she is.
Holy crap! They cut off her legs, tarred and feathered her hip stump, then forcefully mangled her hands into webbed feet? I know that she kind of had it coming, but that's pretty grim. We also never see Hercules again, which implies they either killed him or turned him into something equally gruesome. The freaks were our heroes, right? So we cut to Hans hanging out in his mansion, feeling a little guilty about the whole thing. Gee, I wonder why. Is it because he totally dumped his fiancée for a slutty trapeze artist and covered up for his mistake by having his friends horribly mutilate her into a freak of nature? Anyway, Frida comes in and, because she's a dumbass, forgives him for everything, which means that the characters learned absolutely nothing. The end. So that was Freaks. How well did it hold up? Well, I don't think that it was really a bad movie. It was pretty clumsy. The story meanders, it's inconsistent in tone, and for a movie that seems to be pro-freak, the message gets thrown out the window at the end when they become the villains. But I will say that the freaks all did fine when it comes to acting, and I did enjoy looking into how all the performers live their lives. It's worth a watch if you're interested, but I don't think it's all that great. See you next time on The Show with No Name.